Maya had been living in her tiny apartment for 6 months, and the rent was killing her budget. Every month, she watched her savings disappear faster than ice cream on a hot day. She worked at a local bookstore, which she loved, but the pay wasn't enough to cover the expensive rent in the city center. "I need a roommate," she told her friend Jenny over coffee one Tuesday morning. "I can't keep living like this. I'm eating instant noodles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner." Jenny laughed. "Well, at least you're consistent." Maya wasn't joking, though. She had exactly $43 in her bank account, and rent was due in 2 weeks. That evening, she sat at her laptop and typed up a roommate ad on Craigslist. She tried to make it sound appealing without lying too much, looking for a clean, quiet roommate to share a cozy downtown apartment. Great location, close to shops and restaurants. Non-smoker preferred. First month's rent required upfront. She hit publish and crossed her fingers. Within hours, her phone started buzzing with responses. The first few people who replied seemed normal enough, but when they came to see the apartment, things got weird fast. The first guy showed up wearing pajama pants and asked if he could install a hot tub in the living room. The second person was a woman who brought her 3 cats without mentioning them in her email. The cats immediately started climbing the curtains and knocked over Maya's favorite plant. "Sorry about that," the woman said, not looking sorry at all. "They're just excited. They love new places." Maya politely declined. Then came the college student who asked if his girlfriend could move into, and the man who wanted to know if he could run his online business from the apartment. When Maya asked what kind of business, he got evasive and started talking about importing specialty items from overseas. By the end of the week, Maya was getting desperate. She had interviewed 12 people, and none of them seemed like someone she could live with. Some were too messy, others too loud, and a few just gave her weird vibes. That's when she got an email from someone named Luna. "Hi Maya, I saw your ad for a roommate. I'm a quiet, clean person who travels frequently for work. I can pay 3 months rent up front if that helps. I don't smoke, don't have pets, and I'm usually asleep by the time most people get home from work. Would love to meet you if you're still looking. Best regards, Luna." Maya read the email twice. 3 months up front, that was like winning the lottery. She quickly typed back, asking when Luna could come see the apartment. They arranged to meet. The next evening, Maya spent the whole day nervous, hoping this Luna person would be normal. She cleaned the apartment from top to bottom, even scrubbing the baseboards that nobody ever looked at. When Luna knocked on the door at exactly 7 o'clock, Maya was impressed. Most people showed up late or early, but Luna was right on time. Maya opened the door and immediately felt a little intimidated. Luna was probably the most beautiful person she had ever seen in real life. She had perfect skin, striking eyes, and moved with a grace that reminded Maya of dancers she'd seen in movies. Her hair was an unusual shade of silver white that somehow looked natural and gorgeous instead of weird. "You must be Maya," Luna said, extending her hand. Her voice had a slight accent that Maya couldn't place. "Thank you for meeting with me." They shook hands, and Maya noticed Luna's skin was surprisingly cool to the touch. But then again, it was winter, and maybe she'd been walking outside for a while. Luna looked around the apartment carefully, taking in every detail. She didn't say much, just nodded and asked practical questions about utilities and building policies. She seemed genuinely interested in the space and didn't complain about the small kitchen or the fact that there was only 1 bathroom. "The rent is $800 a month," Maya said, trying not to sound desperate, "plus half the utilities." "That sounds fair," Luna replied. "I can write you a check tonight for the first 3 months if you like." Maya's heart jumped. This was too good to be true. "Don't you want to think about it? Maybe see other places?" Luna smiled, and Maya noticed her teeth were perfectly straight and white. "I've looked at several apartments this week. This one feels right." They sat at Maya's small dining table and went over the basics. Luna explained that she worked for an international consulting company that required a lot of travel. She'd be gone for weeks at a time, which meant Maya would often have the apartment to herself. I'm pretty quiet when I am here, Luna said. I work out hours sometimes because of different time zones, but I won't disturb you. I don't watch TV loud, don't have friends over much, and I clean up after myself. Maya was starting to think Luna might be too good to be true. Do you have references? Luna pulled out a folder with letters from previous landlords. Maya read them over, and they were glowing. Words like exemplary tenant and never any problems jumped out at her. I also have first and last month's rent, Luna said, pulling out her checkbook, and a security deposit if you need one. Maya watched Luna write out a check for $2,400 in perfect handwriting. When Luna handed it over, Maya had to resist the urge to kiss it. There's just one thing. Luna said, I keep unusual hours because of my work. I'm often up very late or very early. I hope that won't be a problem. Maya shook her head quickly. I'm a heavy sleeper. As long as you're not throwing parties, I won't even notice. They agreed Luna would move in the following weekend. As Maya walked her to the door, she couldn't believe her luck. Luna was polite, clean, financially stable, and wouldn't be around that much. It was like winning the roommate lottery. After Luna left, Maya called Jenny to share the good news. 3 months up front, Jenny sounded skeptical. Are you sure she's not running some kind of scam? Her references checked out, Maya said. And her check didn't bounce. What's she like? Maya thought about it. Professional. A little mysterious, I guess. She's really beautiful and has this interesting accent. Kind of European. Maybe. Well, just be careful, Jenny warned. If something seems too good to be true, it usually is. But Maya was too relieved to worry about Jenny's concerns. She had her rent money, and Luna seemed like the ideal roommate. What could go wrong? That weekend, Luna moved in with just 2 suitcases and a few boxes. Maya was surprised by how little stuff she had, but Luna explained that she preferred to travel light because of her work. I don't like to accumulate too many possessions, Luna said. It makes moving easier. Maya helped her carry things upstairs, and again noticed how cool Luna's skin felt. She also moved those heavy boxes like they weighed nothing at all. Maya struggled with 1 box while Luna effortlessly carried 2. You must work out a lot, Maya commented. Luna just smiled. Something like that. For the first month, everything was perfect. Luna was exactly what she'd promised to be. She was quiet, clean, and often away on business trips. When she was home, she kept to herself mostly, though she was always polite. When they ran into each other in the kitchen or hallway, Maya began to relax and enjoy having extra money in her bank account again. She could buy real groceries instead of just instant noodles. She could even go out with friends occasionally without worrying about overdraft fees. The only slightly odd thing was that Luna never seemed to eat regular food. Maya would stock the fridge with normal groceries, but Luna always brought her own food in unmarked containers. When Maya asked about it, Luna said she had dietary restrictions, allergies. Luna explained, I have to be very careful about what I eat. Maya also noticed that Luna never seemed to use the bathroom much, but she figured that was just because Luna was away so often. And sometimes she heard Luna moving around late at night, but it was always quiet movements, never anything disruptive. By the second month, Maya had almost forgotten what it was like to worry about rent. Luna was the perfect roommate, and Maya felt like she'd finally gotten lucky for once in her life. She had no idea that her luck was about to take a very strange turn. 3 months into their living arrangement, Maya thought she had roommate life figured out. Luna was still the perfect housemate, quiet, clean, and often away on business trips. Maya had gotten used to having the apartment to herself most of the time, and when Luna was home, she barely made any noise. But then Maya started noticing small things that didn't quite add up. It began with the grocery situation. Maya would go shopping every week, filling the fridge with normal food like milk, bread, leftover pizza, and vegetables. But Luna's section of the fridge was always filled with the strangest fruits and vegetables Maya had ever seen. Some were purple and spiky, others were smooth and silver, and a few seemed to change color depending on the light. Where do you even buy these? Maya asked one morning, pointing at a fruit that looked like a cross between a pineapple and a crystal. Luna paused while making her breakfast smoothie. There's a specialty market across town. Very expensive, but worth it for the quality. Maya had lived in the city for 2 years and thought she knew every grocery store, farmer's market, and specialty shop, but she'd never seen anything like what Luna ate. Then there was the sleep schedule thing. Luna had mentioned she worked odd hours, but Maya started realizing just how odd they were. She'd get up at 3 in the morning to use the bathroom and see light coming from under Luna's door, but it wasn't regular light. It was this soft, blue glow that seemed to pulse gently at first. Maya thought maybe Luna had one of those fancy sleep machines or mood lights. Lots of people used them for relaxation, but the light was different from anything she'd seen in stores. The really weird part was that Maya never heard Luna's alarm clock go off, ever. Maya was a light sleeper, and she could hear the neighbors upstairs when they dropped something or played music too loud. But Luna seemed to wake up and go to sleep without any sound at all. Maya also started noticing that Luna never seemed to get sick. Maya caught a cold in February and was sniffling and coughing for a week. Luna spent just as much time in the apartment during that week, but she never caught anything. She didn't even seem concerned about getting sick. "Don't you want to keep your distance?" Maya asked, feeling guilty about spreading germs. "I don't want you to catch this." Luna looked genuinely confused. "Catch what? My cold. The virus, oh. Right." Luna nodded quickly. "I have a very strong immune system. I rarely get sick." Maya was jealous. She seemed to catch every bug that went around at work. The thing that really started bothering Maya was the bathroom situation. They'd been living together for 3 months, and Maya had never once had to wait for Luna to finish in the bathroom. Not once. Maya would wake up in the morning and the bathroom would be available. She'd come home from work and it would be free. She'd get up in the middle of the night and never found it occupied. It was like Luna never used it at all. Maya started paying more attention to these little details. She noticed that Luna never left dirty dishes in the sink, but she also never seemed to use the kitchen when Maya was around. The trash can on Luna's side of the kitchen was always nearly empty, while Maya's side filled up with normal garbage. Luna also never seemed to do laundry. Maya would haul her clothes to the laundromat every 2 weeks, but she never saw Luna carrying laundry or heard the washing machine running. When Luna was home alone, these observations might have stayed just curious thoughts in the back of Maya's mind, except for what happened on that Tuesday in March. Maya had been fighting a terrible headache all day at work. By noon, the pain was so bad she could barely look at her computer screen. Her boss took one look at her and sent her home early. "You look awful," he said kindly. "Go rest. We'll cover your shift." Maya gratefully headed home, looking forward to taking some medicine and sleeping off the headache in her dark bedroom. She climbed the stairs to her apartment, fumbling with her keys while trying to keep her head from pounding. The apartment was quiet when she entered. Luna's work shoes weren't by the door, so Maya assumed she was out on one of her business trips. Perfect. Maya could suffer in peace without worrying about disturbing her roommate. Maya headed straight to the bathroom medicine cabinet, searching for the bottle of headache medicine. She swallowed 2 pills and splashed cold water on her face, hoping it would help with the pain. As she walked back toward her bedroom, she heard something that made her stop in her tracks. It was coming from Luna's room, and it definitely wasn't normal. At first, Maya thought maybe Luna had left her TV on or was playing some kind of meditation music. But as she listened more carefully, she realized it wasn't music at all. It was a humming sound, but not like any humming a person would make. The sound was too deep, too resonant. It seemed to vibrate through the walls and floor, making Maya's teeth ache in a way that had nothing to do with her headache. It was like standing next to a huge speaker, but instead of music, it was this constant, otherworldly humming. Maya's curiosity overcame her headache pain. She crept closer to Luna's door, trying to figure out what could be making such a strange sound. Maybe Luna had some kind of unusual exercise equipment or meditation device. The humming got louder as Maya approached the door. It was definitely coming from inside Luna's room, and it was unlike anything Maya had ever heard. The sound seemed to have layers, different tones weaving together in a pattern. That was almost hypnotic. Maya reached Luna's door and realized it was slightly open, just a crack, but enough to see inside if she positioned herself correctly. She knew she shouldn't look. It was an invasion of privacy, and Luna had been nothing but respectful of Maya's space. But the sound was so strange, so compelling, that Maya couldn't resist taking just one quick peek to satisfy her curiosity. She leaned forward and peered through the crack in the door. What she saw made her forget all about her headache. Luna was in her room, but she wasn't standing on the floor. She was floating about 3 feet above her bed, perfectly still, surrounded by a soft blue glow that pulsed in rhythm with the humming sound. Maya blinked hard. Sure, she must be seeing things. Maybe the headache medicine was making her hallucinate. But when she looked again, Luna was still there, suspended in midair like gravity didn't apply to her. The blue glow around Luna seemed to be coming from her skin itself, not from any external light source. And floating around her body were what looked like symbols. Not letters or numbers from any language Maya recognized, but geometric shapes that seemed to shift and change as she watched. Maya's heart started pounding so hard she was sure Luna would hear it. She pressed her hand to her chest, trying to calm down, but her mind was racing. This was impossible. People didn't float in the air. People didn't glow blue. And they definitely didn't have mysterious symbols dancing around them. She must be dreaming. Or maybe she was sicker than she thought and was having some kind of fever dream. But as she watched, Luna slowly began to rotate in the air, still maintaining that perfect floating position. The humming sound grew slightly louder, and the blue glow intensified. Maya took a step backward, trying to process what she was seeing. This couldn't be real. There had to be some logical explanation. Maybe Luna was into some kind of advanced yoga or meditation that Maya didn't understand. Maybe she had some kind of high-tech equipment that created optical illusions. But even as Maya tried to rationalize what she was seeing, she knew in her heart that this was something far beyond anything normal or explainable. In her shock and confusion, Maya stumbled backward and bumped into the small table in the hallway. The table wobbled, and the lamp on top of it crashed to the floor with a loud bang that echoed through the apartment. Instantly, everything went silent. The humming stopped. The blue glow disappeared, and Maya heard the soft sound of feet touching the floor in Luna's room. Maya's heart was racing as she stared at the broken lamp on the floor. In the sudden quiet, she could hear her own breathing, loud and panicked. Luna's door opened wider, and Luna appeared in the doorway, looking completely normal. No glow, no floating, no mysterious symbols, just Luna, standing on the ground like any regular person, wearing her usual clothes and looking concerned. Maya? Luna's voice sounded different though. There was a tremor in it that Maya had never heard before. Are you okay? I heard a crash. Maya looked up at Luna, then down at the broken lamp, then back at Luna. Her mind was struggling to reconcile what she'd just seen with the perfectly normal person standing in front of her. I came home early, Maya stammered. Headache. I was getting medicine and I knocked over the lamp. Luna's eyes searched Maya's face carefully, as if looking for something. You look pale. Are you feeling all right? Just the headache, Maya said, though that was no longer true. The headache was gone, replaced by a much bigger problem. Luna helped Maya clean up the broken lamp, and they made small talk about Maya feeling better and taking care of herself. But the whole time, Maya could feel Luna watching her with an intensity that made her uncomfortable. That night, Maya lay in bed staring at the ceiling, trying to convince herself that what she'd seen wasn't real. But no matter how hard she tried to rationalize it, she couldn't shake the image of Luna floating in that blue glow, surrounded by impossible symbols. Maya had always believed in logical explanations for everything. But what? The week after Maya saw Luna floating in her room was the longest week of her life. She couldn't stop thinking about what she'd witnessed. But she also couldn't bring herself to believe it was real. During the day at work, Maya would convince herself it had been a hallucination brought on by her terrible headache. People didn't float in the air. People didn't glow blue. She must have been sicker than she thought. But at night, lying in bed, Maya would remember every detail with perfect clarity. The way Luna had rotated slowly in the air, the pulsing blue light coming from her skin, those strange symbols that seemed to dance around her body. It had all been too vivid, too detailed to be a dream or hallucination. Maya found herself studying Luna whenever they were in the same room together. She watched how Luna moved, how she spoke, how she interacted with everyday objects. Everything seemed normal on the surface. But now Maya was looking for signs that something was different. And once she started looking, she found them everywhere. Luna never seemed to sweat, even when the apartment got hot. Maya would be fanning herself with a magazine, while Luna looked perfectly comfortable in long sleeves. Luna also never seemed to get tired. Maya would come home exhausted from work, but Luna always looked fresh and alert, no matter what time of day it was. The food situation became even more obvious now that Maya was paying attention. Luna's strange fruits and vegetables weren't just exotic, they were impossible. Maya tried looking them up online, searching for purple spiky fruits and silver smooth vegetables, but found nothing that matched what Luna ate. Maya also realized that Luna never left the apartment during normal shopping hours. She claimed to shop at a specialty market across town, but Maya had never seen her leave with shopping bags or return with groceries. The strange food just seemed to appear in the refrigerator. The bathroom mystery deepened too. Maya started timing how long Luna spent in there, and it was never more than 30 seconds. Even when Maya knocked on the door thinking Luna was inside, Luna would emerge almost immediately, looking confused about why Maya was waiting. "Were you using the bathroom?" Maya would ask. "Just washing my hands," Luna would reply, but Maya never heard water running. The most unnerving thing was how Luna had started watching Maya. Not obviously, but Maya could feel Luna's eyes on her whenever they were in the same room. It was like Luna was studying her, trying to figure out what Maya was thinking. Maya caught Luna staring at her several times during that week. When their eyes met, Luna would quickly look away and make some excuse about being lost in thought. But Maya was getting the distinct feeling that Luna knew she had seen something she wasn't supposed to see. The tension in the apartment became thick enough to cut with a knife. Maya found herself making excuses to stay late at work or visit friends. Anything to avoid spending time alone with Luna. But Luna's work schedule meant she was home more often than usual that week, making it impossible for Maya to avoid her completely. Maya considered talking to someone about what she'd seen. She thought about calling her friend Jenny, but how could she explain it? "Hey Jenny, I think my roommate might be an alien." Sounded crazy even in her own head. She also thought about moving out. Maybe she could find another roommate or get a smaller place she could afford on her own. But where would she find another situation as good as this one? And what if she was wrong about Luna? What if there was some perfectly logical explanation for everything? The breaking point came on a Friday night. Maya had been working late at the bookstore, doing inventory and trying to avoid going home. When she finally got back to the apartment around midnight, she expected Luna to be asleep or at least in her room. Instead, she found Luna in the kitchen, standing in front of the refrigerator with her back to the door. "Hey," Maya said softly. Not wanting to startle her, Luna didn't turn around. She seemed to be staring at something, but Maya couldn't see what. "Luna, are you okay?" Still no response. Maya took a step closer and realized something was very wrong. Luna was standing perfectly still, not moving at all, like she was frozen in place. Maya walked around to see Luna's face and nearly gasped. Luna's eyes were wide open, but they weren't focused on anything. They had a distant, glazed look, like she was seeing something that wasn't there. "Luna?" Maya reached out to touch her shoulder, but stopped herself. Something told her that touching Luna right now would be a very bad idea. Maya took a step back and looked at what Luna was staring at. It was the chrome surface of the refrigerator, which was acting like a mirror. Maya could see her own reflection clearly, But where Luna's reflection should have been, there was something else entirely. Instead of Luna's familiar human appearance, Maya saw a shimmering, translucent outline of something that definitely wasn't human. The shape was tall and graceful, but it moved and flowed like it was made of light and energy rather than solid matter. Maya's heart started pounding. This was it. This was proof that what she'd seen in Luna's room had been real. Luna wasn't human. She was something else entirely. Something that could disguise itself as human, but wasn't very good at maintaining the illusion. Maya stood frozen, staring at the impossible reflection, not sure what to do. Should she run? Should she try to wake Luna up? Should she pretend she hadn't seen anything? While Maya was trying to decide, Luna suddenly blinked and turned around. For just a second, Maya saw Luna's human appearance flicker, like a TV with bad reception. The beautiful woman Maya had been living with seemed to fade in and out, revealing glimpses of something ethereal and otherworldly underneath. Maya, Luna's voice sounded different too. Instead of her usual accent, there were harmonics in her voice that human vocal cords shouldn't be able to produce. "You're home late." Maya found her voice, though it came out as a whisper. "Luna, we need to talk." Luna's eyes widened with what looked like panic. Her human appearance flickered again, more noticeably this time. "Talk about what?" "About what you are," Maya said, surprised by her own boldness. "About what I saw in your room last week. About your reflection in the refrigerator just now." Luna's face went through several expressions in rapid succession: fear, confusion, and finally resignation. The flickering stopped, and she looked solidly human again. But Maya could see the defeat in her eyes. "You weren't supposed to see that," Luna whispered, her voice carrying those strange harmonics again. "See what, exactly?" Maya asked, though she wasn't sure she really wanted to know the answer. Luna looked around the kitchen nervously, as if checking to make sure they were alone. "Can we sit down? This is going to take a while to explain." Maya nodded, her legs feeling shaky. They moved to the living room. Sitting on opposite ends of the couch, Luna kept her distance, and Maya noticed she was trembling slightly. "You're not human," Maya said. It wasn't a question. Luna closed her eyes and took a deep breath. When she opened them again, they seemed to glow faintly in the dim light of the living room. "No," Luna admitted, "I'm not human." Hearing Luna confirm what Maya already knew should have been shocking, but instead, Maya felt a strange sense of relief. She wasn't going crazy. She wasn't hallucinating. The impossible things she'd seen were real. "What are you?" Maya asked. Luna's appearance flickered again, and this time she didn't try to hide it. "I'm from very far away, farther than you can imagine. Like another planet, another star system, another part of the galaxy entirely." Maya leaned back on the couch, trying to process this information. "Are there others like you here on Earth?" "Few. We don't come here often, and when we do, we're very careful not to be discovered." Luna looked miserable. "I've failed at that completely." "Why are you here?" Luna hesitated. "I'm studying your species, learning about human behavior and culture. I've been living among humans for almost a year now, observing and taking notes." The words hit Maya like a punch to the stomach. "You've been studying me, like I'm some kind of lab rat." "It's not like that," Luna said quickly. "Well, it started that way, but it became something different. You became something different." "What do you mean?" "I wasn't supposed to care about you," Luna said quietly. "I was supposed to observe and record. Nothing more. But living with you, talking with you, being part of your daily life, I started to genuinely like you. You became my friend, not just my research subject." Maya didn't know how to feel about that. Part of her was angry that she'd been deceived and studied without her knowledge. But another part of her was touched that Luna considered her a friend. "So what happens now?" Maya asked. Luna looked terrified. "I have to report this to my supervisors. The fact that you discovered my true nature means I've compromised the entire study. They'll probably recall me immediately." "Recall you where?" "Home. To my planet." Maya felt a surprising pang of sadness at the thought of Luna leaving. Despite everything, she had grown attached to her strange roommate. What if you didn't tell them? Maya suggested. Luna shook her head. I can't lie to them. They'll know something went wrong when they review my data. Then what if we figured out a way to fix this together? Luna looked at Maya with surprise. You're not afraid of me. Maya considered the question. I probably should be. But you've been living here for months, and you never hurt me or did anything scary. Well, except for the floating thing. But that was more weird than frightening. You're not going. Luna took a deep breath and looked at Maya with eyes that seemed to hold the weight of entire galaxies. My real name isn't Luna, she began. It's something your language doesn't have sounds for. Luna is just what I chose to call myself when I came here. Maya nodded, trying to prepare herself for whatever was coming next. I'm from a planet that orbits a star you call Vega. My people have been aware of Earth for a very long time, much longer than humans have known about us. We've been watching your species develop and grow for thousands of your years. Watching us? Maya asked, like spying on us, more like studying you, Luna said carefully. My people are scientists and scholars. We're fascinated by how different species develop culture, technology, and social structures. Earth is particularly interesting to us because humans have developed so quickly, and in such unexpected ways. Luna's appearance flickered again, and Maya caught another glimpse of that ethereal, translucent form underneath. We don't interfere with the species we study, Luna continued. We have strict rules about that. We observe from a distance, take notes, and try to understand how different forms of life solve the challenges of existence. But you're not observing from a distance, Maya pointed out. You're living in my apartment, eating breakfast with me, and helping me pay rent. Luna looked uncomfortable. That's where things get complicated. About 50 years ago, a group of young scientists from my planet proposed a new type of study. Instead of watching humans from far away, they wanted to live among you, to understand your daily lives and personal relationships in ways that distant observation couldn't reveal. And you volunteered for this? I did. I've always been curious about human emotions and social bonds. Your species forms such strong connections with each other, much stronger than what we typically see in other civilizations. I wanted to understand how that works. Maya was quiet for a moment, processing this information. So you came here to study human friendships and relationships, among other things, yes. I was specifically assigned to study domestic partnerships, how humans choose to live together, how they share resources, how they resolve conflicts. Roommate relationships seemed like a perfect subject for research. Hence the perfect roommate act, Maya said, understanding dawning on her face. Luna nodded shamefully. I spent months preparing for this assignment. I studied thousands of online posts about roommate situations, analyzed human behavioral patterns, and developed what I thought was the ideal roommate personality. The advanced rent payment, the cleanliness, the being away frequently, Maya listed, all calculated to make me as appealing as possible while minimizing the chances of discovery. Luna confirmed, I thought I had covered every detail. Maya shook her head in amazement. You did cover every detail. You were the perfect roommate, to perfect. Actually, that's part of what made me suspicious. I realize that now. I was so focused on avoiding problems that I didn't account for how unusual it would seem to have no problems at all. Maya was quiet for a moment, then asked, What about your appearance? Do you really look like this? Luna's human form flickered more dramatically, and Maya saw more of the translucent, flowing shape underneath. This is what you might call a projection. My real form is made of what you would think of as energy rather than solid matter. We can manipulate electromagnetic fields to create the appearance of having physical bodies. Is it difficult to maintain it? Gets easier with practice, but it requires constant concentration. Strong emotions can disrupt it, which is why I've been flickering so much tonight. I'm nervous. What about eating? You do eat, right? Luna smiled. The fruits and vegetables you've seen me with aren't actually food. They're energy storage devices that look like food. I absorb energy directly from them, but I don't need to eat in the way humans do. And the bathroom situation? I don't have the same biological needs that humans do. I was going into the bathroom occasionally to maintain the illusion, but I wasn't actually using it for anything. Maya laughed despite herself. I thought you had the world's most efficient digestive system. I'm sorry for deceiving you about so many things, Luna said seriously. I know it must feel like everything about our friendship was a lie. Was it? Maya asked. Was our friendship part of the research? Luna was quiet for a long moment. It started that way. I was supposed to observe and record human domestic behavior, including how friendships develop between roommates. But somewhere along the way, it became real for me. What do you mean? I started actually caring about you as a person, not just as a research subject. When you were sick, I was genuinely worried about you. When you were happy about something, I felt happy, too. When you were stressed about work or money, I wanted to help. Luna's voice became softer. My people don't typically form emotional attachments the way humans do. We're more analytical about relationships. But living with you, I started to understand what humans call friendship, and I realized I didn't want to study it anymore. I wanted to experience it. Maya felt a warmth spreading through her chest. So you really do consider me a friend? The best friend I've ever had, Luna said. Which is why this situation is so catastrophic. I've completely compromised my objectivity and my mission. Tell me about your mission, Maya said. What were you supposed to accomplish here? Luna looked nervous again. I was supposed to live among humans for 1 Earth year, observing and documenting domestic relationships. At the end of the year, I would compile my findings into a comprehensive report about human social bonding and return home. How much time do you have left? 3 months? I was supposed to finish my observations and prepare my final report. And what happens if you don't complete the mission? Luna's expression grew troubled. That's the problem. My people have very strict protocols about these kinds of studies. If I report that I've been discovered, they'll immediately terminate the mission and recall me. Is that bad? It's worse than bad. It would be considered a complete failure. I'd probably never be allowed to participate in field research again. And worse, it might convince my people that this type of close-contact study is too dangerous to continue. Maya could hear the pain in Luna's voice. This research is important to you, isn't it? It's everything to me. I've spent years preparing for this opportunity and the things I've learned about human nature and emotion. They're revolutionary for my people's understanding of social species. So we need to figure out a way for you to complete your mission without your supervisors knowing that I discovered your true nature. Luna shook her head. That's impossible. They monitor my progress remotely. They'll be able to tell from my reports and behavior that something has changed. What exactly do they monitor? They receive regular data uploads from me, observations, measurements, behavioral analysis. They also monitor my energy signatures to make sure I'm maintaining proper cover. Maya thought about this. When do you send these reports? Every week. The next one is due tomorrow night. And what would you normally include in a report? Detailed observations about human behavior, emotional responses, social interactions, analysis of how humans form bonds and resolve conflicts, measurements of stress levels and emotional states. An idea was forming in Maya's mind. What if instead of hiding the fact that I discovered you, we used it to make your research better? Luna looked confused. What do you mean? Well, you've been observing human behavior from the outside, right? Trying to understand how we think and feel by watching us. But now you have the opportunity to have a human actually explain their thoughts and feelings to you directly. Luna's eyes widened. You mean cooperative research? Exactly. Instead of you secretly studying me, we could work together. I could give you insights into human psychology that you could never get from just observing. Luna was quiet for a long moment, clearly thinking through the possibilities. That's actually brilliant, but it's never been done before. My people have never attempted collaborative research with a subject species. Maybe it's time they tried something new, Maya suggested. You said yourself that you've learned things about human emotion that are revolutionary. What if working directly with humans could teach you even more? But how would I explain this to my supervisors? They're expecting reports based on covert observation, not collaborative research. Maya grinned. We'll get creative with the truth. You can report that you've developed a particularly close relationship with your research subject, which has provided you with unprecedented insight into human emotional patterns. You don't have to mention that I know what you are. You think that would work. It's worth a try. And if they question it, you can point to the quality of your research. If you're getting better data through this method, they'll have to acknowledge that it's effective. Luna looked hopeful for the first time since their conversation began. You're willing to help me with this, even though it means continuing to be a research subject. I'm willing to help because you're my friend, Maya said. And honestly, I'm curious about your people and your planet. This could be interesting for both of us. There would be risks, Luna warned. If my people discover that you know the truth about me, there could be consequences for both of us. What kind of consequences? I don't know. This situation has never happened. The next few weeks were unlike anything Maya had ever experienced. Living with Luna had always been interesting, but now that she knew the truth, every day brought new revelations and challenges. Their first test came the day after Luna's big confession. Luna had to send her weekly report to her supervisors, and both women were nervous about how to handle it. What do you normally write about? Maya asked, watching Luna sit at her laptop with a worried expression. Usually just observations about human behavior. Things like how you organize your living space, how you respond to stress, how you interact with friends and coworkers. Maya felt a little weird knowing that Luna had been analyzing her every move. For months, what kind of things did you notice? About me, Luna looked embarrassed. Well, you're very loyal to your friends, even when they don't deserve it. You're generous with your time and resources, sometimes to your own detriment. You have a strong sense of justice and get upset when you see people being treated unfairly. You got all that from watching me. You're easier to read than you think, Luna said with a smile. Humans are actually quite expressive, even when they're trying to hide their feelings. Maya decided to take that as a compliment. So what are you going to write about this week? I'm going to focus on how our friendship has developed and what it's taught me about human emotional bonds. I'll emphasize the value of close observation and the insights that come from building trust with research subjects, without mentioning that I know what you are, without mentioning that specifically, no, but I'll hint that our relationship has reached a new level of openness and cooperation. Maya watched Luna type her report, fascinated by the scientific language she used to describe their daily interactions. Luna wrote about the subject's increasing comfort with the observer and enhanced opportunities for behavioral analysis through voluntary cooperation. Do you always write about me like I'm a lab rat? Maya asked. Luna paused her typing. I'm sorry. I know it sounds cold and clinical, but that's the language my supervisors expect. If I started writing about you like a friend instead of a research subject, they'd know something had changed. I guess I understand. It's just weird to hear our friendship described in scientific terms. Would it help if I showed you what I really think about you? Luna asked. The observations I make for myself, not for the official reports. Maya was curious. You keep personal notes. Every researcher does. We're encouraged to record our own thoughts and reactions separately from the official data. Luna opened a different file on her laptop, and Maya saw pages of notes written in what looked like a completely different style. Instead of clinical observations, Luna had written things like, Maya laughed so hard at that movie tonight that she cried. I'm starting to understand why humans value humor so much. And Maya gave her last $20 to that homeless man. Even though she was worried about her own rent, human compassion is remarkable. You write about me like you actually care about me, Maya said, touched by the genuine warmth in Luna's personal notes. Because I do care about you. That's what my supervisors don't understand. This research has changed me as much as it's taught me about humans. Luna sent her weekly report that night, and they both held their breath waiting for a response. When Luna's supervisors replied the next day, with praise for her innovative approach to subject engagement, both women felt a huge surge of relief. They liked it, Luna said, reading the message. They're impressed with the depth of insight I'm gaining through close observation. So we're good to keep going for now. But we need to be careful not to push too hard or too fast. If my reports change dramatically, they'll get suspicious. Over the following weeks, Maya and Luna developed a routine that worked for both of them. During the day, Maya would go to work at the bookstore, and Luna would work on her research. But in the evenings, they'd sit together and discuss Maya's thoughts and feelings about various aspects of human life. Or tell me about your relationship with your family, Luna said one evening, her notebook ready. Maya thought about it. It's complicated. I love my parents, but they don't really understand me. They think I'm wasting my potential working at a bookstore instead of getting a real job. What's a real job to them? Something corporate. Something that pays a lot of money and has a fancy title. They don't understand that I'm happy doing something I love, even if it doesn't pay much. Luna made notes. So humans value different things. Some prioritize financial success. Others prioritize personal fulfillment. Exactly. And sometimes those things conflict with each other. These conversations were incredibly helpful for Luna's research, but Maya found them valuable too. Having to explain human emotions and motivations to someone from another species made her think more deeply about her own feelings and behaviors. Why do humans cry when they're happy? Luna asked one day after watching Maya tear up during a particularly touching movie. I don't know, Maya admitted. It's like our emotions are so big sometimes that they overflow. Crying is just how we express intense feelings, whether they're good or bad. My people don't have that kind of emotional overflow, Luna said. We feel things, but much more contained. Do you ever wish you could experience emotions the way humans do? Luna considered this. Sometimes, living with you has shown me how much joy and wonder there is in feeling things deeply, but it also looks exhausting. Humans seem to live in a constant state of emotional intensity. It can be exhausting, Maya agreed, but it's also what makes life interesting. The highs and lows, the surprises, the way feelings can change from moment to moment. Luna was learning about human nature, but Maya was learning about Luna's people. Too, she discovered that Luna's species had evolved past the need for many emotions that humans consider essential. We don't experience romantic love the way humans do, Luna explained. We form partnerships based on compatibility and shared goals, but not the intense emotional bonds that humans call love. That sounds lonely, Maya said. It is. A little. But it's also practical. Human relationships seem to cause a lot of pain and confusion. They do, Maya admitted, but they also bring incredible joy and connection. I think the pain is worth it for the happiness. Luna found this fascinating. Humans are willing to risk emotional pain for the possibility of emotional reward. Every day, we fall in love knowing our hearts might get broken. We make friends knowing they might disappoint us. We have children knowing they'll cause us worry and heartache along with joy. Why? Maya had to think about that. Because the alternative is being alone and never experiencing the best parts of being human. Connections we make with other people are what give life meaning. As the weeks passed, Maya noticed that Luna was changing. She was becoming more expressive, more emotionally open. Sometimes Maya would catch her laughing at something on TV or getting excited about a book she was reading. Are you becoming more human? Maya asked one day. Luna looked thoughtful. I think I'm becoming more myself. Living among humans has shown me parts of my own nature that I didn't know existed. Is that good or bad? I'm not sure yet. It's making my research much more personal and much more complicated. The complications came to a head when Luna received a message from her supervisors requesting a video call. They wanted to discuss her progress and review her recent reports. They've never asked for a video call before, Luna said. Clearly nervous. I think they're getting suspicious about my research methods. What are you going to tell them? I'm going to try to convince them that my approach is working. That building trust with humans is the key to understanding their emotional patterns. Maya felt nervous too. What if they order you to come home? Then I'll have to go. I can't disobey a direct order from my supervisors. The video call was scheduled. For the next evening, Maya offered to stay in her room during the call, but Luna asked her to be nearby in case she needed support. "I don't know how they'll react to what I've learned," Luna said. "Some of my findings challenge everything my people believe about emotional species." "Like what?" "Like the idea that emotional bonds make species weaker and less rational. Everything I've observed suggests the opposite, that human emotional connections actually make you stronger and more resilient." Maya watched from the kitchen as Luna set up her laptop for the video call. She couldn't understand the language Luna spoke with her supervisors, but she could tell from Luna's body language that the conversation was intense. Luna's supervisors appeared on the screen as shimmering, translucent figures similar to Luna's true form. They spoke in harmonics that made Maya's teeth ache, even from across the room. The call lasted for over an hour. Maya watched Luna gesturing emphatically, clearly trying to explain something important. At one point, Luna's supervisors seemed to be asking pointed questions, and Luna's responses became more animated. Finally, the call ended, and Luna sat staring at her laptop screen for a long moment. "What did they say?" Maya asked, coming into the living room. Luna looked up with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. "They're intrigued. My reports have been so detailed and insightful that they want to extend my mission." "That's good, right? It's unprecedented. No field researcher has ever been given an extension. They're so impressed with my findings that they want me to continue for